Hey guys, how you doing? This is Bobby Davis. How are you doing today? Kevin, you're already here.
I'm good. I'm already here. We're running behind today. We're going to skip the niceties.
That's it.
We're
And I'm
jumping
on
straight on, which is funny
and we're on the
because
wrong side too.
somebody in the chat said, hold on, somebody in the chat said, wouldn't it be great? I think it was Raphael. Me. Wouldn't it be great if we just like one day we just started it and we just joined and we're just there and it's just doing our work and we're not paying attention and then.
Well, that's why we're late because I'm doing my work. That's exactly what I'm doing. So.
That's it. We've been kind of busy. Yeah. But hold on. I think Maverick's calling you out here somewhere. Hold on. Here you go.
Oh no. Hey, I was last night.
If you're playing Destiny.
It's a Tuesday reset, man. I was right there, man. So
I think Thomas agrees too, and Raphael suggests that you try and do a flawless. So
I cannot do flawless trials. I'm not that good. If anyone wants to carry me, I would love to get to the lighthouse.
This is the thing you're talking about with the 7-game thing? Is that the same thing?
Yeah, so like you have to win 7 games and then flawless, and you can go to the lighthouse. I've never been to the lighthouse in trials. I would love to do it. I'm not good enough to do that in PvP. That is highly competitive. That's beyond my skills. Okay. But I am going to attempt World's First Raid in September whenever that new one comes out. So if anyone wants to be in a 6-man team, let me know. I had one last year.
So you got to have, to do this, you got to have Destiny 2 on Xbox, right?
Xbox. More than likely, right now, Xbox. I may have PC by when it rolls around. But yeah, I formed up a 6-man team last year, and we were there. You have to commit to it, though. So it's not a light commit.
Hold on, what's the commit?
You have to play Destiny actually.
So, yeah, for how long?
You have to be pretty good at it, and you have to have a certain light level to even attempt the raid by the
okay. See, I don't know about you. My gaming sessions these days are like an hour, maybe. Like I'll play like a one little game of something. In the past, it used to be like I played for 8 hours straight or something, but I just don't do that anymore.
So the raid would take, I would say you'd have to, number one, you have to invest in the week up to the raid. And then be prepared to be in the raid at least 15 hours on Saturday when it goes live.
15 hours?
Maybe 20. If you're going to try to really do it, or we can just give up.
So I'm giving up before I've started. I'm not down for 15 hours. 4, I'd be like, that's a commitment. Here you go. Maverick suggesting we do a Destiny stream and promote the book at the same time.
Write a book about the Guardians, breaking the code with Guardians, So
yeah, I like it. That's funny. Which, by the way, talking about the book, so the book came out yesterday, or it came out the day before yesterday. The day before yesterday, we got our first set of sort of reviews and stuff come in yesterday, and the first sort of figures and that kind of stuff. So, congratulations, you are now an Amazon bestseller.
I am. I know, that's kind of cool, isn't it?
In a bunch of different categories. It's super good.
One of them was web programming, which is kind of cool.
Yes. There's web development. One is in career coaching, I think, something along those lines.
Yeah.
It's super good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super good.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty hyped about that. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Let me just do something here real quick. Fury Popper said he got 39 out of 50 in the quiz. I don't know what percentage that is. That's in my head. But that's decent, I think.
Yeah.
I looked this morning actually at the quiz statistics. So our quiz, if you go to take the quiz, which we talked about a bunch, if you go to codeofrania.com/quiz, I looked at the stats fresh this morning. So a total of 13 people have actually aced it, which is more than I thought actually.
Okay.
13 people have got 100%. But one of them might be me testing it too. So at least one of them. So it might be 12, it might be 13. I'm not saying I would ace it. I made it, so I'm supposed to ace it to make sure that it works.
Exactly.
There's always contention over question 10, which was the question, by the way.
Is that the one 10 that we always talk about?
That's the one.
I don't want to give it away. So
no. Okay, let me do. There was a good meme. I want to do a meme first before we do anything else. Right. So we're going to talk about JavaScript today. We're going to talk about some JavaScript things, but there was a cool meme. So let me run that first. mentioned. Let me pull it up. It's this one. It's actually the last one in there, and I liked it. I like this meme in general. So angry at your code for not doing what I programmed it to do, and then your code doing exactly what I programmed it to do.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves when someone says the code broke. No, it didn't.
No, you just did it wrong.
You just did it wrong. I mean, it
That's
doesn't
so
wear
true.
out. You know, on that million.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I ran it too many times.
Yeah, exactly. It just wore out. You know, code doesn't break.
I thought that was good. I liked it. So there you go. Yeah, that was Thomas's meme, by the way. So thanks for putting that in there, Thomas. We appreciate it. Yeah. It was a good one. I liked it. And it gives me a chance to run my cool little meme bumper with the explosion.
Thomas Zanus. Is that how we say it? Zanus?
I don't know. Is it Zanus or is it Zanus?
I think he could be like a stand-up. I think he could do stand-up.
At least across YouTube chat.
That's it, man.
I've never met you in person, so I don't know. Maybe it doesn't come across the same. I don't know. Yeah. Lawrence got a 41. Look, that's cool.
Is Lawrence new to the program?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Lawrence.
Okay, I got it. It's Zanus.
Zanus. Or Zanus. Or Zanis.
It's Zanus. He said, like, I got it. Look, Kevin has it. Zanus.
All right, cool.
Across 3 different messages.
That's it, man. All right, cool.
I don't think so. Gone. Not unless just staring at us, if that's funny. Like,
no. We could make movements.
I would never be good at that. That's too much of a thing. I can't find your book in bestsellers. It might be a country thing. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it just depends. You can look. And also, I will say honestly that they update it hourly. Amazon does. So,
well, I looked this morning and it was still there. So here you go. I'm going to put the link in chat too. This link should take you to your link in your country. So whatever your thing is, and I'll do it on mine too, and we'll take a look. Yeah, you still have the little bestseller badge. It's showing in certification, training, and reference, distributed systems and computing, which is a weird one to be in, and web development. And I know there's more too. They only show 3. At least those, and I'm guessing those are US specific. I'm not 100% how it works across other countries.
Yeah.
Are you in for this, Adam? You up for open mic night? Get some material.
Adam's got some.
Come back on here and do an open mic night. You know who would be up for that, don't you? Jason. Yep.
Jason has dad jokes.
Jason has dad jokes. And Jason, if you're here, if you want to leave one for us, that'd be great.
Dad coder joke.
And actually, Jason, if you want to come on and do a dad joke at some point, let me know, and I'll send you the link.
Man, don't encourage him. That he'll be here. He'll be on this thing right away.
I'll send you the link, Jason. I'll make it happen. Okay, what are we doing here? Let's talk about one more thing too. Again, sorry, it's always one more thing with me. I'm like a bad Steve Jobs. Except my one more things aren't that great. I'm not releasing any new.
This guy, Randall, it's 12 a.m. here in the Philippines. Glad to start my birthday on your live stream.
Oh, that's cool, Randall. Happy birthday.
How old are you?
That's cool. Yeah, I'm interested. How old are you?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Happy birthday. Damien posted in our Discord channel a thing about Windows 10, and I looked this up too. So the latest Windows 10 update, which is a great version naming from Microsoft, Windows 10 version 2004, just to make it real confusing. It's year and month, I think, and the month being 04, which was April, which is when they must have done it internally. They released it about a month ago, but it's having some big issues. They may pull it back or push out an update or do something. So if you haven't updated to that version of Windows 10, don't. It has some issues with defragging something with the LSAS file. So it can have basically, I think it gets stuck in a boot loop of some kind. So if you haven't updated it, don't. It's advised not to. So, yeah. And actually, it's funny that this came up today because I'd read not a couple of days ago that that same version of Windows was having issues with malware bytes, the software, and it was causing all kinds of other issues with that and causing it to reboot or something as well with that. So I'm like, maybe it's related. I don't know. But that was about, it might have been a week ago or so I read that. Like, that's interesting. You know, they can't be perfect with this stuff all the time. I get it.
So they're still saying I should go flawless on trial. The greatest developer boot camp ever goes flawless on trials. I can put that as a YouTube name.
Oh, that could be your bio line on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and then the next follow-up video is like fraud disclosed, how Bobby Davis like allowed someone else to play on his account.
Exactly.
Account recoveries. That's the Destiny code word to like you hire people to play trials for you.
You're gonna get caught up in a scam. So
just like
Destiny
last weekend.
Exactly. Playing Destiny. Of all the
Bungie
things.
disavows me forever. Strips my stuff out. So
wow. Oh, there you go. Maverick said he had an issue with that, by the way, too. Look, my PC got stuck on the lock screen. Turns out that's a bug in the update. So interesting. What if that was the same thing?
I don't know. Sometimes it happens, man. Yeah. Sometimes they have bad releases. So like
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, just don't run that update and you'll be fine. That's it.
All right.
Let's talk about this one last thing. You guys heard about Bootstrap 5? You've looked at Bootstrap 5 yet? Is it like beta or something?
Yeah. I've looked at it.
Okay.
I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I've looked at it.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done anything with it. So man, we're getting there. Let's talk about it.
Sorry, man. You may be disappointed.
Fiona, it's a bit late today, but that's cool. Thanks for joining us, Fiona.
Yeah, Fiona.
So let's start out with just
inspired this, what I'm doing today. So she inspired this with one of her
questions. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So that's cool.
But I did it, and I'm being fair. I did this at 11:30 here. I spent 20 minutes doing this, and it took longer to type this. And so, like, I just want to show one thing in JavaScript. Well, I was surprised when I was walking around the office that people didn't know.
Oh, okay, interesting. Right. So let's just talk about JavaScript at a high level first. Yeah. So when we first started this chat here, when people were on before we were today, there's a lot of hate for JavaScript.
Yeah, it's all right.
People don't seem to like it. There's not very many people who are like, wow, I love JavaScript. The general overall thing is like, it's cool to hate JavaScript, but it's a necessary evil, right?
It's the language of the web, man. You've got to know, if you're going to do full stack web, you've got to know this. And then you have to have C# or Java JS and Java or something like that. So I think you need the front end language, which there's only one choice, JavaScript, and then a server side language, which I think is C#. But you could replace that with the other ones, Java, something like that. And yes, you could do that back end too. But JavaScript.
So there's no real alternative to this, is there? I mean, something like TypeScript or something isn't an alternative to this, right? It's JavaScript. So there's no other option.
Right.
Right.
It's the way it is, man. Like I think you have to learn to like it. Personally. You know? Right. And I'm a C# guy. I mean, I'm like all about type safety. It's like that's right. It's frustrating. Right. You can complain about it, but then you just gotta like know working with it.
So is that Maverick? Yeah. That's what Maverick's saying. Is that the main thing for the hate? Then is that it's not type safe? Okay, yeah.
Makes you pull your hair out. Makes you want to like pound your fist in the monitor.
Is it because you create bugs by typos? Is that what it is? Then that's the biggest issue.
You can create bugs, and then you can create like stuff that shouldn't happen, and it does, and that's because there's no type safe. So like you can't push certain types into other types in C#. So type being an integer or whatever, but like you can run into like problems.
So in JavaScript you can do that, but then that will cause you logic issues.
Yeah, and then TypeScript is the whole thing trying to make that better, and it does.
Okay.
So like it makes it better, but it's still JavaScript at the end of the day.
So from my understanding, because I don't really get this, TypeScript is a version built on JavaScript. How do I use that? Superset, that's what it was, superset. Do I have to do something to use it?
Yeah.
So there's an extra thing you have to say, like, oh, this is now a TypeScript file, not a JavaScript file.
Right. And you gotta know, Maybe I'll go into that later. I mean, like, I'm not ready to talk about that, but like in general, yes. You gotta do something, get it working.
You've got to tell it that it's TypeScript. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's gonna compile down and that kind of stuff. So but like it's your coding experiences where TypeScript shines. So, but there's more work to get set up.
Okay. So what are we talking about? What are you going to show us?
So I'm going to show this amazing site that I made
in 20 minutes. Something tells me this.
It's not amazing.
I have a feeling amazing might be a strong word for this.
So this is the card that I made. And so what I was playing around with was hoisting and just scoping in general. But and then I was going to do that. And then I decided to do something else at 11:45. So it's sort of inaccurate. I thought this was a better thing that I run into.
Okay. So what is this? This is a card with a button on it?
Yeah, a card with a button on it. And so let me show you what this is going to do. So I think I can just pull my editor over here and pull VS Code over here.
Yep. I see that.
I've got an HTML file and that I put together literally in 2 minutes. So, I didn't really spend much time on this. And then I have a JS file. Now, what I did in here was to show you something about scoping. I created 2 JS files, JS1 and JS2. So one thing that I wanted to show is just because you separate your code into multiple JS files, variable declarations carry over.
Say that again.
Or a global variable in JS1, it can be referenced in JS2 and vice versa. So var keyword will make everything global if it's declared outside of a function. So you'll see things like this in all the time in files where these things are at the top of files. And this is a global variable. And sometimes we'll use common things like name, and this is a global variable. Now, if you look over to my second JS file, I've got it declared again.
Okay.
And then I'm referencing it in JS1 right here by writing out, hello, my name is, and I've got the name variable.
Okay.
So this is an example of a bug that can happen. All right. So let me show you what it does. So I'm going to pull this over to the side. And so right now it says, hi, my name is Kevin. And I've got some other ones down here. We're going to show you about constants in a second.
Okay.
And so, but you're thinking, if you're right, you look over here and you're looking in this JS file and you're just like, dude, that thing says Bobby. But
right.
It out Kevin. How did that happen?
It's in that other file.
It's in that other file. But here's where
why does it do that?
Yes. So the reason it did it is because...
Is it the order these are in?
Yes. And so it put this one to the top because it was second. It was the last one it saw. And to prove that, I'm just going to change the order. Most of you guys probably know this, but and this is why Fiona asked the question, what is hoisting? And this is what happens, so that's why they ask it. So in general, you shouldn't use var, but and you shouldn't declare things out of a function all the time, but sometimes it's necessary. So I changed the order of that, and I'm going to.
So this should now be Bobby, right?
It should be, and it is.
Okay.
So that's an example of a bug that can look weird, and that's a very simplistic example of things that can happen. And so when you're declaring, this is what happens a lot of times when you bring in these JS libraries and something weird starts happening. And then you're saying it's something in jQuery. I don't know what it's doing, or your favorite library that you bring in for charts. And you're like,
because you're right. If I was debugging this, I would go to that one JS file where I see it declared and where it's pulling in. And I would be like, well, clearly it says Bobby. Why does it say Kevin? Then you've got to try and go back and figure out why it's assigning it, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to debug.
It is, because that's in the same, if you look at that JS1 file, it's in the same file, but you can even see it on the same screen. I'm like, well, name's there, name's right there, it's calling it. At no point between the two does it get reassigned. Why does it say Kevin?
That this file is like, 2,000 or 3,000 lines long. Because you don't have to declare it at the top. I mean, I can declare it at the bottom of this file too, and it'll still work.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, get lost.
Wow.
And it's just confusing. So
is this where you'd have to do like a debug where you'd step through the value of the variable to see like where it changes?
Well, we can look at it, but it would show you Kevin. But then you'd have to find out where that was declared at.
Okay.
Like you would step through this and it would just it'd say the value of name is Kevin. You're like, where in the heck is it?
Oh, so that really doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, you're like, where in the heck?
Okay.
Like, I'm going to kill myself right now. So like, if you do this in a C# file, the compiler would find this and say, you can't do that.
Okay. So if we used let there instead of var, then that negates this issue?
No, because it's outside of a function. We can try it. See what it does. So I can go over here. So I think the same thing happens. I didn't try this before. You asked me to, now you're asking me to demo something.
Well,
I haven't. So it blew up. So
okay, now it just doesn't work. Okay.
I'll show you why it blew up.
Okay.
All right, let me just. All right.
I'm definitely learning something new today.
We'll just open up the debugger right here and just show you.
You might need to blow up the size of this a little bit, the font, if you can. It's super small.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can or not.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to show the debugger. Well, did I break something else? I think I did. Let me look at that real quick.
So Fiona says, let doesn't have global scope, does it?
No. It's block scoped. That's the problem. Or the good part of it. So you want it to be block scoped. Yeah, so it won't let you do that.
Okay.
Because you're weird. No, it just won't let you do it. So
and that is to do with scope.
Yeah. So let, if we go over here and look at this stuff, you could do it in here. So now you've got this this thing that says, hello, I'm Kevin. And if I say let name equals, and we'll just put something in here, Steve. I picked Steve. I just did. He's one of those names that just seems kind of funny to me sometimes. But
okay. Sorry if your name's Steve.
I know, yeah. So I don't know why those names are. It's like Greg. Greg's a famous ogre in Destiny now that you kill all the time. So like, see, now it's saying, hello, my name is Steve. And so what it did was it overwrote everything else that's in the file because this is scoped to this block. And when we say block, in between these brackets.
Okay. So it's okay. So that's just within that function then.
Yeah. So now
because you're assigning it within that function, that overwrites the other.
That way you name your variables. So like you're good.
Yeah.
So in general, you should try to avoid global variables wherever possible. I know there's some cases where you do want it global because you want to pass it between files, but you also can use function parameters and all that kind of stuff. But like in general, that's one of the things you can run into. So then I want to show you something else. So there's also this other thing called constant. Okay. And so constant means I cannot change the values of a constant. Okay.
Right.
So if let's just take this one right here, this Steve variable right here. And I'm going to say, I'm going to change this to a constant up here. And then we'll get to the thing and I'm going to call it Steve. All right. And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to take this out. And we're just going to let it run. Okay. And so I'm also going to go ahead and comment this out so we're not confused here what's going on. Okay. All right. So this is all commented out. So now we're in just one JS file. We'll stay in one JS file from here on out. So I have this constant called Steve. And then one of the things, I'm just going to save that and I'll just refresh the page here. And then I'm going to click on it and it's going to show, hey, my name is Steve. Okay. So what you can do with variables is you can actually change them, right? Except you can't do that with constants. So like if I say name equals Bobby, this is it's gonna blow up at runtime.
Okay, so it's not that it doesn't do it; it fails trying to do it.
Yeah, it won't.
So it doesn't ignore it. It says like, "Hey, you can't actually do that."
Yeah. So if you watch,
so what does it say?
It says assignment to a constant variable at click me, and it's uncaught.
Oh, an actual error message that works.
Yeah. It blows up.
It tells me exactly what I'm doing.
So in C# or type safe languages, this is why we like it. This would get caught at compile time. So I would just then say that's a constant. You can't do that. There would be an error right here even before I pushed the code in production or ran it. In JavaScript, you have to run it, and then it goes through its checking. So it's when it's done is also the problem.
Okay. So, hey, Fiona has a question. Difference between block scope and function scope.
So function scope is scope to a function, and block would be something like inside of an if statement or an or for statement.
Okay, so a block can be within a function. A function can't be within a block, or could be.
Yeah, functions contain a lot of other blocks like for loops and if-then loops, stuff like that. If-then statements, switch statements, anything in between brackets. So like if I put this is in between this bracket, the highest level bracket, if this was a let, which I'm going to change the scope of it right now, that means that this name is available to everything inside of here. And if I put it in here, then it would be available to everything inside this for loop, but not outside here. So if I declared a variable inside of here and printed out both of these statements, and I said let name equal Kevin, I'm not going to do that. But if I did it here, it would actually print both values. Like it would print, like if I printed it from in here and printed it from here, you would see Bobby and Kevin, and that would be the scoping.
Okay.
But if I printed it from out here, it's going to look at the scope out here. So that's the difference. It's where it's declared and inside of like what bracket is it declared in. And if you put it out here, this is a global variable. And so what happens in general is if you look at my declaration here is that it's pulling these JS files and like injecting them pretty much into the page as in a script tag. And so it's putting those up, and then it'll take the variables that are declared both and hoist them to the top to make sure they're declared right, depending on where you pushed them out there if they're global. So that's what it does. So you have to be careful when you have multiple files, which I think is a good thing. I separate files all the time by functions all the time. Like I may have a main program file, and like if I do templating a lot in JavaScript, I have a templating library that I want to use. I'm going to pull that in separately, just like I'd pull in React or Angular or Knockout or whatever it is. You pull them in separately in their own files.
Okay.
But when you're writing your own code, you can like step on yourself. So it's kind of a problem.
Okay. Olga has a question. Thanks for the question, Olga. One of my colleagues uses only constant let never var. Do you consider it's a good practice?
Yes. 100%. You shouldn't use var. So var has been around forever. And then the latest version of, I think it was 2015 is when let was introduced. And so it's a relatively new construct for block level scoping for JavaScript. So it's what you should be doing now. But there's a lot of us that have muscle memory on what we do. And then we still use var sometimes. We shouldn't, but we do. It's bad practice, I think. Unless there's a real good reason to declare something globally. There could be. But usually when you think about it long enough, you're like, I don't really need to declare it globally. So I want to show you one other thing. So we talked about constant a little bit, right? And so like we showed that this constant, I can't really change that. Okay. But I can also like let this redeclare it in here under a different scope level. Okay. But I can't assign to it. So I can't say name equals Bobby. As we discussed, this is going to blow up because that's declared as a constant up top. All right. So, but what if you've declared a constant of objects? Okay.
Okay.
So this would be a common thing that you may want something globally, like if you want a drop down list of states or something, or you have a data coming in from an endpoint and you want to use that data across multiple files or something like that, you may have a global data object. This is possible. You know what I mean? And so this is what this is. So I made up, I didn't spell invincibility right, but I don't think I did. I did this like 4 minutes
Doesn't
ago.
matter.
So trust me, I didn't even check
it doesn't matter.
So like I've got Coder Man and I got these code names and I got the real name. So I was trying to work on like, secret identities and I ran out of time because you told me it's showtime.
Okay.
So like Coder Man, he has a C# power and he's invincible. In other words, like everything he does is type safe. So he's like Superman has invincible screen. Front end man wields a JS sword and he can conform to any type. So he's that. Okay. I consider that a weakness, but he's more like Armstrong, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. This guy's more like Power Man if you're in Marvel or has invincible skin or maybe Iron Man, that kind of stuff. I put Frank Castle, who's the Punisher. So like because the compiler punishes you if you don't do it correctly. So anyway,
okay, loosely
that's what I was trying to do. All right. So anyway, so I got these constants of code names. And so I'm going to just write a simple loop and print those out. That's all I'm doing here. Okay. So I'm going to go from 1, 0 to 1 here. And the length is 2. All right. So like, it's just going to print it out. So if you, if I pull this over here and we look at what's going on, didn't save it probably. I broke it on purpose. Let me get back to it. All right. So now we printed them out. We got Coder Man. Let me kill the debugger here. Hopefully we won't have any more errors. We've got Coder Man and front end man printing out there.
Okay.
Okay. Pretty simple.
And that's just looped over that
object.
That object and give you the 2 name values from each one of them.
Right. So then I've raised this other object that I declared as a var, and it's called the real name. And this is their alternate identities or their secret identities. And so what if I wanted to print out the secret identity list and I wanted to use the same loop to do this? What you could do is you could say, I'm going to set code names to real name. Okay. Just like we did with the name before. This won't work as we just showed before. And I'll show you, let me save it, that it's going to blow up. So print out that my name is Steve. Another problem with JavaScript, it'll keep running until it blows up. But so if I bring up my where's my tools here, the upper tools, then you can see right now that it's got the same problem. Assignment to a constant variable. It's an uncaught type error. Okay. And what it's saying is you cannot change that constant. All right.
Okay.
But you can. So like so what I could do is I can actually change this thing if I wanted to. And what I'm going to show you is what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to it, which would be a change. All right.
Okay. Yep.
So so before I run this loop, I'm just going to add.
So when you say add to it, what are you doing? You're adding another property to the object?
I'm not adding a property. I'm going to add another record to this. I'm going to add another value.
Oh, another record. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, could you change? So is it a constant in terms of it being the properties of the object a constant then? But the values on? Is that
new properties too?
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It's because it's underlined and it's not the actual encasing object. So let's come up with another superhero name. You got one?
Don't know. Chat, you got one? Somebody pick one. First one that comes up, we're going for it. Whoever puts it in first.
Equal swirl. I don't know.
Unless it's like Captain Underpants or something.
We got swirl.
Sequel school, I like it. That's a good
one.
Adam suggested Green Lantern, but
Green Lantern.
Do you want to go DC?
We don't do DC here in this unit. No.
I think Adam's all DC.
Powers. We'll just say DB. He's got some DB powers and good names. And its weakness. No UI. Can't see. He's invisible. So like in the coding world, you can't do that. So I think, and again, I haven't tested this. So if this doesn't work,
that's okay.
You can unsubscribe.
Don't say that. Don't say if this doesn't work, unsubscribe. That's the.
So
please don't.
More. See what happened. He didn't do it. Huh. Okay, I'd have to like debug this. So let's debug it and see what it did. All right. I did it wrong. I should have tested this before I went to it.
Yeah,
but
this is true. We haven't looked at this one little bit. I literally saw none of this before we jumped on here today.
Yeah. So I can. It's in there. All right, let's go look at it. All right, so we'll just look at it and just see if we can fix it here. So probably someone's already fixed it. This is really hard to code online, people. All right, so like I can look at this, and I'm gonna step over it. So I can look at, and it probably didn't change it. I know you can change it, so it does it because I do it all the time. So the length of
hold on, you intentionally do this all the time, right?
Well, no, you're always adding to it.
Okay.
But it sure the heck it didn't change it. There it is. There it is right there. Front end man. All right. I don't know. I have to look at it. I don't want to like waste time doing it. But you can what I'm saying is you can change the underlying object. And even though it's declared as a constant, that's one of the things you don't understand. So like a lot of times people will, because what I did was, if you look at like when I did the superhero, not the superhero, but Superdog events, allowed you to add new states and new things to it, but that was declared as a constant up top.
Why would you declare it as a constant though, instead of a variable?
You don't want it to change. So you don't want this to be pushed.
Yeah, but you can anyway.
You only can change the underlying object, but you can't change the object itself. So you don't want that to happen.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like I can't push real name into it. Even though they look the same, I could change the properties and all this stuff and it won't do it.
Matt suggests not targeting an object in the array, maybe.
Yeah. So like so maybe I just did it wrong. But like if I changed it to
the point stands.
Yeah. Changed it to var, and then it would work. So now this time it'll give out the alternate egos because it's no longer constant. That's the difference.
Okay.
But you can add values to this. So I'm not sure why that didn't work. So I'll publish code later and tell you.
You'd have to dig into it. Yeah.
I don't have to dig into it. I think I'm under pressure on live television. So it takes me 5 minutes. And I think it's boring for us to be hearing me figuring this out for 5 minutes. So anyway, but you can change the underlying object. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was like JS scoping and then like how variables work and how they cause issues when you get into it. So you just need to be aware of like when you're defining a global variable at the top, make sure that's something that you truly want to do, because it's usually not good. And then like in general in C#, you just don't have like, you don't want to declare global variables, period. So like you want everything to be kind of scoped to what you're doing.
And this seems like it's one of those things you almost have to learn through sort of practice, through best practice, because as far as the language goes, you can do this. You just shouldn't.
Yeah, you just roll stuff out and then it breaks and your boss says, why is it? And you spend 2 days trying to find it. Stuff like that.
Right. See, for me, that's one of the hardest parts of like of learning to code is you can learn from a book this thing, and you can learn this theory and how it works, but then you've got to almost see it and break it and try and fix it to understand how it really works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I could write this syntax out, but I wouldn't know if I came up with an error, I wouldn't know how to fix it.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't know to even look for something for scoping. I wouldn't even know that was the place to start.
Yeah, hopefully you've read a little bit about it beforehand. So, well,
I have now.
So yeah, exactly. So that's
I definitely know now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Raphael has a question. He says, wait, so values inside of a constant object do not inherit the constant type?
Yes. You can.
That's what we're saying, right?
Values. Yes. That's all I'm saying is like you can change the values to it. So an object.
This is exactly it, Beth. Yes, the fact that you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. That's the hardest part for me. Is just figuring out the best practice part.
So if you have like a list of names, let's say you have a list of names and you have an intermediary object between the database and your JavaScript front end. And so you went to the database and you pull back a list of names, okay? And you're using it for like a check-in system for people to come in to your super secret CI headquarters, okay? And these are the people that are authenticated to come in, right? So like you type in their name and you see if they're on the list. Maybe it's to get into the club or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. And then they say, no, I'm not on the list, but Bobby owns the club and he said I could come in. You call Bobby and he says, yeah, let Fiona in the club. And then they add Fiona to the list. But the list would still be constant.
Okay.
Just add another item to it. And so like your code would say that I only can use this list, but I can add to the list. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So is this, hold on, Nathaniel put something down here.
And I'm telling you it's not, because I can't change that that constant value to another list. So I can't, like I've shown you, like I have hero names and I had real names. I can't suddenly push the real names into that variable because it's declared as a constant. But I could because it's an object, and only because it's an object, I can add values to the object or change the values in the underlying object.
Okay. So
I've confused everyone. Maybe I should.
No, I think that makes sense. I think the terminology for me is a confusing part.
Yeah. It's just it is, yeah. So it's just
you
like
guys probably get it better than I do.
You can't change them, and then someone does, and it's like, okay, I didn't expect that to happen.
Right.
So it can happen to you.
Okay. Here we go. We learned something new. Well, I did.
All right, hopefully.
Well, I definitely did. Okay. What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. You got any questions here? Glenn says he thinks he gets it.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sure, Mohammed. What you got? Give us a question. There's some questions up here too.
We'll do another thing that I'm not prepared for. So that's all. That's awesome.
Here you go. Rithan has a question too up here. Beginner, yeah. I've not started to learn JS. Could you please suggest me what to learn and how to?
We take 10 days of JavaScript. Just look it up on YouTube, and there's 10 days of JavaScript, and it's free. Start there.
Yep.
If you haven't even started. That'll teach you about variables. It'll teach you about looping, all those kind of things. That's where I would go.
And if you insist on a book too, there is a good book. Do I have it handy? I don't have it handy.
Oh, Adam explained this perfectly. So Adam, you win the Teacher of the Award or year. It's like you got two books. You can write in either, but you can't turn one book into the other. Exactly.
Okay.
So if I have a copy of Moby Dick and a copy of Oliver Twist, I can't turn Moby Dick into Oliver Twist, but I could write an epilogue in the back page of it, of either one.
Okay.
But I can't transform one into the other.
Okay, cool.
So
that makes sense.
Kind of so constant variable doesn't. The reason I'm bringing this up, because it doesn't operate like you think it would. When you declare it as a constant, you're thinking everything in this thing is immutable. It cannot change. It is set in stone, no matter where I've got my code at. And then some dude comes around and says, "Oh, it's an object," and he starts adding to it, or altering the values in it. Even that,
right?
So it's kind of
interesting. Let me look. We'll probably do this tomorrow. MSV. We'll probably give a book away tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we had some technical issues at the thing with our book giveaway function, which was super cool, by the way. It was good. And Glenn, so am I. For those of you that didn't attend the book launch party thing, I know some of you guys did. I think some of you guys have posted in here. Glenn was here. I think Fiona said she was here too. It was impressive, wasn't it? How he got, oh my God. And I still don't know how he did it. So I had a pack of cards here, and he had me randomly pick one out of the deck. And then he held his card on the screen the whole time, and it matched.
Mm-hmm.
It was impressive. It was very impressive.
People accused us.
I get it. He forced it somehow.
And we
I 100%. I 100% did not, and it was awesome. I was very, very impressed. He was really good at what he did.
Let me go back and show you something, Kevin. I'm going to go back to this. Okay. I feel like an idiot. So,
what'd you do?
All right. So what I'm going to do is, so first off, I've got Coder Man and Front End Man. Okay.
Yep.
And I've got C# invincibility, whatever. And so what I'm going to do is change position 0 with these values. Okay. So I'm going to declare this. I believe this will work as a constant, and it should work. You not? Again, I didn't try it. So like, see now, SQL Girl came out. Okay. So it actually, if you look at this, it changed the values of position 0.
Oh, because you okay, the first position in the array, you did change it because it should be Coder Man.
Right. And so if I comment this code out,
I'm guessing it will be Coder Man, right?
Go back to Coder Man. What the world did that do? Control Z, Command Z. All right. And so now that I've run it here and I've got them side by side, so now you can see it's Coder Man now. You can see that it's actually, there
you go. Yep.
So
yeah, which you definitely would not think you could do for sure.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Because it's a constant.
Yeah, it's not. It sort of is. Like the object is, and you can't change it to another object like Kevin. You can't change it to another book like real names. You can't.
Right.
You can't do this, but you could do this, and you can add to it too. So you can just add right.
Yeah, that's crazy that it doesn't. I'm with Raphael that it doesn't inherit the parent class.
It's just the way it is.
That's okay? Does it work the same way in C#? Is that a similar thing?
So C# has immutable types like strings. Underlying string is an array of characters, but C# won't let you do it. What it does is makes a new string, which can be worse in some cases.
Okay.
So C# would say, okay, if I declared a string called name, I set it equal to Bobby, and then I said name equals Kevin, it would just make a new string called name, and then put the value Kevin in.
So hold on, now I've got 2 variables called name,
but you can't access the first one. It's just in memory. It's called a memory leak. Just taking
space.
Oh,
okay. That sounds bad.
It is bad, especially if you do it in like a loop.
Okay. That's how those things happen. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. So like if you do it in a loop or like a repeatable function and you're concatenating strings and it's making new strings every single time and it can just chew up the web server. So like there's things built into the language called string builder that allows you to like access the underneath array of characters, which is string is an array of characters. But if you access it at the object level, like the way you would in a constant, it just makes a new one. If you access it at the array level, then you can like change the characters in those positions.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense. So like, and that's essentially, if you look at my code over here, I could put it back up, comparing it to C#, and I should have brought C# in. This line of code is essentially accessing the array level of the object, the underneath. And that's why it works, but it's not accessing the parent object. So like strings in C# would be the same way. In fact, that if you're interviewing for C# jobs, that's one of the first questions I'll ask. Hey, are strings immutable in C#? Can you change them? And the question is, do you know about string builder and do you know it's an array of characters?
Yeah.
And you know what happens if you just set it equal to another one? So that's it's a 3-part thing.
Okay.
So that's kind of it.
So if you just say no, they're going to say why, and how does that work then, right? That's the follow-up.
Yeah.
Here you go. Mohammed has a question for us.
Yeah.
He said we would answer. You're very welcome, Mohammed. Thanks for being here and asking a question. He's been learning programming in Python for about 2 years, specifically in Django, and recently he's using React. But for some reason, I have no response when I apply.
Oh, so you're just trying to get a job?
Think about applying for jobs, yeah. But 2 years experience is a lot. I know what you're gonna say.
You have a portfolio? That's what I want to know. Really, realistically, I think if you're filling out just a blind app, you may get shoved down the stack. And so like so if you're going through Indeed.com or like some kind of application site, and I have no idea if you're in the U.S. or if you're in India or wherever you're at. So if you're applying locally, I would think it works the same way. Is if you can work through a recruiter, that recruiter can get to the hiring manager and talk your skills up instead of you just trying to win on your resume alone or your application alone. But if you don't have a recruiter available to you, the next thing you can do is make sure that you have a portfolio that they can click on and they can look at, and you highlight that on your resume, and like it should be at the right under your name, and then at the top in bold so they can't miss it. Here's my portfolio, check it out. And then in your application, you should definitely say, I've got a portfolio of projects. Please click here to look at what I can do. And so that if you highlight your portfolio, you'll get more opportunities when they'll call you back. So that's just my advice.
So
I think
for 2 years in, hopefully you do have something to put on a portfolio.
If not, you should 2 years in, you should be able to make something too.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and
here's the other thing too.
They're also maybe pushing you down, Muhammad, because you're applying for jobs and React isn't on your professional resume. It's something you've been doing. You've just been doing it recently. So they're discounting your other 2 years into Django. So like you need to show a React project that you've built to show that you know what you're doing. That's it.
Yep. And remember, it could be a volume game too. When you say you've applied for stuff, you need to apply for like 100, 200.
It's easy to apply. Actually, it is. So like it doesn't. Your job right now is to find a job. So like just spend your time in the morning looking at everything that's posted in your area. Here in the U.S., it's Indeed.com has all the postings. I'm sure there's, if you're in another country, I'm sure there are similar sites there. Call a recruiter, get with a recruiter, allow them to talk to the hiring manager directly on your behalf, and then you'll get a job. So.
Also, if you see a job posting and they say they want 3 years, they want Django, React, and Vue, and you don't know Vue and you've only got 2 years, apply anyway.
Apply anyway, because they may not find the actual. And then the hiring manager may not even wrote the job app, so you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't rule yourself out. Let them rule you out.
He's got a question.
Yeah, I was going to put this one on next. Yeah, this is a technical one.
Sharp, sort of. So, like,
is this a comment? Have I heard this before about C#, or is it the garbage collection thing? What's
most type-safe things? Most strings are immutable in other languages. It's just the way it is, and there's reasons for that. But like, I've seen this tear things down. So I think it might, but you can't rely on it to do it. So like, just don't write a for loop with concatenating strings together. Use string builder. That's the answer. And then you'll be fine. So what I'm saying is always use string builder when you're altering or changing a string in C#. Just do that. I'd have to research this one just to read about it. I could Google it right now. But I could get back to it. If you get on Discord, I'll give you an answer later on in the day. I'm pretty sure that eventually, yes, but it can still cause you problems at runtime that you don't like. It's not efficient, definitely, and it's not memory efficient. So it can cause significant problems, especially if you run a high volume website and you're doing like a really tight loop around something. So
okay,
it's not good. Use string builder or something like that, a class like that.
Oh, here you go. This is cool. Look, this is great. Thank you. Going after you like the book. Actually, love the book. And why your portfolio is your secret in the interview. And you changed my mind about using recruiters. Cool.
Dude, I don't know why people hate recruiters so much. Mainly because I think that some recruiters, they feel like I'm just a piece of meat to them. I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
It's the bad ones have given them a bad rap.
Which is fine. Like that person that thinks you're a piece of meat is still trying to get you a job. Like even if they ghost you and they don't have anything, they don't give you great feedback. When you find a great recruiter, make friends with them, and know their first name, know their kids, know their dog, know their cats. Be friends with them, be on the top of their mind, and you can build a really good relationship with recruiters, and they can help you find work. They really can. And then when they call you, pick up the phone. They may not return that all the time, but for you, what you can do is build a positive relationship as far as by you. And like I said, I had a couple of recruiters that I worked with for years, so I still know them today. I could still call them today. So, and we're not even doing business together. So it's kind of cool. Build relationships is better than like being mean to people. And sometimes they're mean to you. I get it, but like, they're just trying to like get you a job. So just look at it that way. Just use the system for what it's for, is to find employment. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah, and it's like our friend Lee from Rebel Recruiters. You can just tell, speaking with him, the short time that we've known him and spoken to him, you can just tell he's a guy that's out there that's going to do the right thing. He's a good recruiter. He's good at what he does, and he's going to be an asset to you. And I'm sure there's bad ones, but you just got to find the right one. I think after talking to somebody for a few minutes, you're going to figure out what kind of person they are. I had a couple of, what did I see this from up here? I saw a question earlier that I wanted to come back to. I can't see it anymore. Let me just read down these real quick. Here's one. Is this how the CF classes go?
No, I think they're it's way more organized. So, like I literally did that 15 minutes ago.
We spent more than 15 minutes doing it.
But like
the curriculum was created before the class started.
Yeah, I made this example at 11:45, and then I even changed it in the middle of that. I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to really come with a great thing. I think our classes are way better than that. I probably shouldn't teach anything now. Antonio's going to come on here and hit me with a stick.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's a good suggestion too. Where did I see the suggestion as well? Here you go. This is a good suggestion. Maybe we'll do this tomorrow.
I do that quite a bit. I use the standard vanilla stuff all the time, like manipulating.
But you can do that. I see a lot of people using jQuery for DOM manipulation.
I don't use jQuery, but like it doesn't mean you shouldn't. It's just another way of doing the same thing. It is a shorthand syntax. But I'm just used to doing it through vanilla JavaScript.
Okay, so maybe we do that. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I find that interesting too. I think that's because there's many ways to do that.
One guy wanted to buy our book in Russian. It's not available. I have no idea, Igor. I wish I did. This is the first time I've ever pushed something out, and it's on Amazon. That's all I can tell you. And like, if it's not in your country, I'm not sure why.
Yeah, somebody else has said the same thing about another European country it wasn't in. We're going to ask the publisher about that in terms of like, I'm not sure if they're used to having a global audience like we have with you guys. They're very US centric, and I get it. But we need to find out like how that works so we can push it out to you guys.
I know it's not translate or anything like that, so it definitely would still be in English. But you could try some other sites. I guess. That's not Amazon. I mean, I think Barnes and Noble has it. There's a lot of other sites out there that are selling it.
It's on the Apple Books app. I do know that. At least again in the US store. I don't know if that's a store that's in other countries. Worst case, Igor, hit me up on Discord. I'm at Doyle, and I'll see if I can figure it out for you.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, man.
The title of the book is right there in the corner. Okay, breaking the code.
It's the blue one that looks like this.
So that's actually, I'll let you know a secret. That's a pre-production copy of the book. We don't actually have the printer. What do you call it? The publisher version of the book yet. There are we got 2 or 3 of those. Yeah, pre-production ones. So they are. That one is slightly different. The content's in there. It's not a blank book. It's the real book. It is the same book, but we had to go through a different printer to get them printed so that we can have a physical copy in hand. So they do look a little bit different, but only slightly. Yeah. Maybe those are super collector's editions.
Yeah, COVID delayed the release of the pre-production or the first run of the books. So we'll get our copies, the first run of the books. I think July 15th.
Yeah, so we didn't. Yeah, exactly. I ordered one from Amazon, and mine's coming Sunday. Matt said his is coming Saturday.
I know you'll get it before I get my author copy. So like when you work at Inside Baseball, like they give you a certain amount of copies even before it goes live. And the way it works at Amazon, Amazon is doing the printing and the fulfillment for a lot of the books, like paperback and ebook. But from the printer, they had some kind of, I don't know, COVID thing, and so it'll be here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took our e-copy and I had it printed elsewhere on demand.
Yep.
Just so I can have a production copy in my hand. So that's what I did.
So there's a couple of those. I think did we do three copies of that? I think. So we had them, so we could use them. I don't have any physical copy. Mine comes Sunday. I get my first copy Sunday, so I will see it the same time you guys do. I have my digital copy on my iPad, which is actually downstairs. But yeah. Yeah,
and the Spider-Man picture's on page 95, by the way.
Which I still love that story.
Super secret for a while until like you guys.
We don't want to spoil it. If anybody wants to put a written, anybody that's read the book that wants to put a written description of what the Spider-Man looks like in chat, I would love to see it. I want to know what you guys think of the Spider-Man picture that's on page 95. It's about halfway through the book if you've got the ebook version. It's like 53% through or something, depending on what you've got it set to. But yes, it's my favorite part.
Let's see here. What did he say? I would say no, Raphael, because
I hope not.
Attention, like the paper I picked down to all those choices was part of my decision.
Oh, you got to pick the paper?
Yeah.
Did you really? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. So there you go, guys. If the paper's bad or the font's bad, you now know where to go.
But I guarantee you, the way that I picked it out was I didn't pick the cheapest option. So like I picked I just wanted to, be more, not necessarily the premium experience, but like I didn't want it to look like I'm printing this on my laser printer here in the office. I just didn't want it to look like that. So I wanted to be
right.
So when we put it together, we went top shelf. So
cool.
That's how I roll anyway. It's Kevin knows. So like,
I know. That's how it works. Yes. So if you want to go to Discord, if you're not on Discord, you can join Discord. Link is in the description. It is down there. You can go join there. Just go post it in general for now.
If you want to draw Spider-Man, put it on there. We'd love to see your Spider-Man pictures. So
we would. And actually, Natasha's on Discord too, so she'll see these. Yeah. So please be nice about the description of Spider-Man. Yeah. This is not. It's not to make fun of Spider-Man. It's funny, but it's not to make fun of it.
So, like the whole story, if they don't know the story, was just like Todd McFarlane said that you should draw Spider-Man if you're trying to break in as a comic artist at Marvel. And so what we're saying is make projects that the person will recognize. And so I walked around the room and said, I just thought it'd be funny with no context. I just gave him paper and said, hey, draw Spider-Man, tell me what it looked like. And I was looking for a bad Spider-Man. I really was.
Well, and then I wouldn't even say it was a bad. The description of bad is even like kind of wrong because there was some bad ones. I don't know if Jason or Drew are here, but their Spider-Mans were bad.
Yeah.
Natasha's was clearly Spider-Man, but it wasn't comic book quality, whereas Mary Hannah's was like straight out of the comic book. It was too good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Adam's created a Spider-Man description channel in there. Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Oh, that's funny. So yes, go in there. Please write out your description of the book, the Spider-Man book, and maybe we'll show some tomorrow. And if you want to draw Spider-Man, add it in there too. Maybe we'll show that tomorrow. If yours is equally good, bad, maybe we'll put it in there.
We'll put him on the show.
He is.
We'll put the Spider-Mans on the show.
We can do that. And Fiona, yes, Adam is good at what he does. Adam is definitely efficient.
Yeah, man.
He's an awesome moderator to have here and on Discord. Again, I always say this, but thanks again, Adam.
And if you guys are a comic artist and you bring the goods like Mary Hannah did, then we'll show that too and say that's too good.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to draw Spider-Man, that's kind of cool. Be fun.
Yeah.
We'll look at it.
Let's wrap this thing up here. We're working on our next coding challenge. We talked about this already.
I'm working on that now. Look for it in the next couple of weeks if we can find a sponsor. If we don't, I think we're going to run it anyway.
Yep.
So we'll come up with a way.
It's a good one. I was looking at my logical solution this morning, actually. I didn't tell you this yet, but it got my brain thinking. I was like, okay, how would I do that? Like, oh, that's interesting. It made me think.
This coding challenge is going to be good, and we've got another twist for it. So I promise you that the coding aspect of this will be in the same level as the last one.
I think it's a little bit trickier.
It could be, but I still put it in.
Yeah, but it's solvable.
It's in the easiest, maybe low medium category. If you saw it on if you saw something like this on LeetCode.
Maybe that's the next one.
No, that's not it yet.
That's
so
good though. It's
kind of funny.
Maverick, we would love that, but again, you accuse us of this all the time. We are not sponsored by Microsoft.
So we're gonna call. We're gonna try, man. We'll see.
That is one of our targets.
Yeah,
I will tell you that is one of our targets. We would love to give Microsoft stuff away, but again, they do not sponsor us. So we don't have we know people there, but we don't have like a shoe-in for a sponsor. So
but we'll call all we'll call them all and see what we can get done. Either way,
is this another headset? Is that a headset?
Yeah, it's probably the new noise canceling because they got
I don't know about those. Oh, by the way, a new version of these came out, MX70s, I think. So I'm tempted. So I might. These are 50s. And I love this stuff, so I'm loyal to the Audio Technica brand. I like their headsets. But anyway, that aside.
All right.
What else do we want to do? Anything before we want to wrap up here?
Tech said nice hat, so you liked your hat.
Oh yes, I like my hat. Look, it's a dry fit Nike one too. It's a killer hat. Cool. Again, Bobby doesn't cheap out on stuff.
I don't know. Like all of our internal clothing,
the best quality stuff, which we were talking about this morning. We were talking about the stuff this morning, the clothing. Natasha saw a hoodie and said, like, "Oh, I like that hoodie." You're like, "That's a $10 hoodie." Like, I just gave you a $100 North Face jacket.
I know. Why do you want a $10?
I thought it was good.
So typically, I buy clothes that I want to wear, and then I just pawn them off to the staff. So that's me.
Which is great. So, and we reap the benefits of having that good stuff.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, and I promise you, Thomas, I'll teach something better tomorrow. I'll be more organized.
Ooh, okay. I think we should do.
I got some more JavaScript stuff I want to show. I'm going to come up with a better solution tomorrow. So
you've now promised
if you guys want to see something on Blazor, I'm working on that too. I may show some Blazor stuff here soon, which I think we can get into C#. So
Esteban's asking if we have a merch store. We do. You can go here. Just search for us on Teespring, Coder Foundry. So there's some stuff there's some stuff you can't get. A lot of the staff stuff you can't get. These you can't get because you can't do on-demand printing for like the Nike stuff. The shirts as well, the embroidered shirts you can't get. But there's T-shirts on there you can get. I think there's like mugs and stickers and that kind of stuff you can get.
If you want a CF hat, just reach out to Raphael. He's got one. He might sell it to you for a premium.
Yes, Raphael does have one. I think we have the only one in the wild. You have the only one outside of Coder Foundry.
Only 24 were made. So
yeah. You have the only one outside of Coder Foundry, Raphael. So that's kind of cool. But yes, you can go there and check it out. And let me put that in chat too before we leave. So you guys can actually click on it because I know you can't click on them when they're on the screen here. Let me copy that down here. And then, oh, look, he says he's wearing it right now, by the way. Hold on.
Yeah, sweet.
I like it.
It's a good hat, man. It's a good hat. I mean, like it
is a good hat.
I wear mine a lot. So it's a good hat.
Yep. It's good.
So
yes, right there. It is down in chat if you guys want to click on that. And yeah, you could buy stuff there. That'd be cool. If you win a prize, MSV, we will put stickers in with the book or whatever too. We have that stuff. We do have that stuff handy. So if you win something, maybe tomorrow we'll give away a book.
Yeah, we'll do it. And we'll throw some stickers in it. So
We'll
it's
see.
gonna be kind of cool.
He would never sell it. Put that on eBay, Raphael.
So you wouldn't sell for $200?
I know. See, here's the question: what's the price? Because you would sell it.
I'd sell it for $200.
Oh, that's great! I love it. That's great. We do have beanies, Adam.
Yeah, we do.
I have one somewhere here. Actually, I think it's in my bag.
Beanies, but it's summer, man.
We do have beanies. Yeah.
Adam has a beanie.
Yeah. Oh, does he have a beanie?
Yeah. I gave him a beanie one day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we do have those. Yeah. Okay. Let's wrap this up. We're late.
Let's go. Well, good luck. I'm going to go eat some lunch. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll learn some more JavaScript tomorrow. See you guys.
Awesome. See you later.